Turkeys are not, they're only native to North America, so that's a pretty rare thing.
The images captured in Iraq in 2005-06 by U.S. Army Staff Sergeant Sean Durkee are more personal than political.
And I think they probably have 40 pictures of me. There was a guy there with like an old camera taking pictures.
Assigned to serve as a cultural liaison in an area near Mosul in northwestern Iraq, Durkee didn't see a lot of heavy combat, but instead had a rare opportunity to observe everyday life up close. His recent presentation of more than 100 photographs at the Waltham Public Library offered a perspective on Iraq that tends to be ignored.
People in every community that you live in, whether you live in Waltham or somewhere else, that has probably gone overseas and come back, and you never hear like from the individual's perspective. But I didn't know how close to stand to this guy. A blowtorch with a gas tank. I'm like, all right.
With the help of his translator, Durkee met local leaders, ate with the Iraqis, and participated in training the Iraqi police. The goal was to build a rapport between the U.S. Army and the locals, and to pass the information along to U.S. military intelligence.
But that's how we lived, too, for a year. This is your taxpayer dollars hard at work. That's about a $250,000 tent that blew away in like the first windstorm.
In spite of the remote location, the threat of violence was never far off.
They only shot 2, and they landed about 100 yards from our tent. This is actually a good guy. He's an interpreter. The police, it was common for them when I was there to wear masks because they were scared to death. They were scared to death their neighbors would turn on them and someone would kill their families.
The beauty of the region is spare but occasionally surprising. Compared with the modest homes that surround it, this luxurious 2-story home stands out. Flowers bloom against the odds, and a sandstorm causes the light to turn a bizarre ochre. Durkee took many pictures of the shifting skies and captured telling reminders of Saddam Hussein.
They're a very traditional society. These people are the Yazidi people. Kurds are an offshoot of the Yazidi, but they're basically the same people.
For the mix of cultures that inhabit the region, curiosity about their American visitors was often tempered by cultural norms.
They're trying to show respect to us, to not have the kids go crazy, but on a few occasions, I've seen these guys just totally wipe out a kid, like if they got out of line.
According to Durkee, children mobbed him wherever he traveled, which was flattering, but not always safe.
If someone were to have attacked us or saw us in uniforms, they would have been hurt, so we were always afraid. I mean, we couldn't.
It's no coincidence that women don't appear in many of the images. Northwestern Iraq is largely rural and traditional, so women are kept out of sight. This mess was left behind in a kitchen some women had just fled as soon as Durkee arrived.
By the time I took out my camera, turned it on, these women, they scurried off. They were traditional, they didn't want to have their picture taken. You can see here, you can see that this is a dress. But they scurried. I mean, for whatever reason, part of their tradition, they just are there to not be seen.
In spite of some culture shock, Durkee developed an appreciation for the complexities of life among the people he met.
But the Kurds still control this area politically, so the Kurdish flag was put all over the place, but it kind of created a tension.
As well as their desire to move forward.
They learn English from reading the dictionary. I don't know if you've ever tried to read a dictionary. That's how this kid learned his words. I want to get the impression to you that they are like us.
For Waltham Newswatch, this is Chris Wangler.